Hello everyone. So we have come to the end of this super quick course. Um, we only have one more week to go, and since we have been doing this weekly assignment write-ups, I want to concentrate this last week especially on the final assignment, right? On the final examination or the final test or the final project, however you want to call it. And for the weekly assignment based on the readings for this week, let's only concentrate on the issue of or the intersection between the anthropological perspective and power. For that, we are going to read Paul Farmer's a chapter of a greater book, of a greater work called The Pathologies of Power. And I will just suggest one specific question for you to answer as your weekly assignment. Although I suggest that you make or complete all of the readings for this week. So that's that, right? This week's weekly assignment. On the other hand, we have the final exam, the final assignment, and this would take the form of a research paper. You can conceive this as a short research paper that will invite us to explore an anthropological dilemma, if you will. Right? So what we have seen is that there are different perspectives about how is it that culture is formed in specific societies, how is it that gender can be treated, it's thought about by different anthropologists. We also read a lot about the ways linguistic anthropologists understand language, and we explored, especially last week, this question of whether the only thing that exists, as it were, is language, or if there is something else, right? There is a physical world, perhaps outside of language, right? These are all anthropological dilemmas that this final assignment would like you to explore. So you will choose one of them, right? You can perhaps think about the dilemma or the struggle between positivism and postmodernism, or this challenge of linguistic determinism that is spoken about as a result of Sapire's idea of language, etc. You can also take some concepts such as structural violence, which we will explore more in depth this week, and then develop a research question and answer that question through, of course, utilizing the literature that we have read during the semester in the course. So I have created a detailed instruction guide for this final assignment, which you can find in the information folder in Blackboard. So review it. It's due on the 23rd by midnight, so you have a couple of days before you complete this. Let's not let it be more than 5 pages, double space, using a 12-inch font. I encourage all of you to use Chicago style. That's easiest for me, but if you have strong feelings about another quoting format, you can use it, but I encourage you to use Chicago style. What I'm really interested here is not too much the form, perhaps, of your writing, but mostly to see you struggle with whatever issue you're dealing with, right? I want you to think, to write creatively, to write freely, and to not think about too much on making an argument, on making a point and defending that point, but rather to really engage with the reading, to really engage with your idea, and not to think in this ordered fashion as we are taught so much in academia, right? So just use these 5 pages to engage deeply, profoundly, honestly with one of these dilemmas, and as long as I see that, I would be very much satisfied with your final assignment. If you have any questions about the nature of this assignment, or if there is anything that is not touched upon on the description that you will read, please send me an email and we can speak about it. On the syllabus, I also mentioned that if there are students who are already working on a research project, that of course concerns the topics that we explored during these past weeks, you can utilize that research as this final assignment, right? So if, for instance, you're working on your senior thesis or an independent study or a research for another class that deals with gender, with power, with race, with linguistic anthropology, something of that sort, please first let me know what the topic is and how you would approach it, and I have to approve it. But that's another option that you have, right? So either the one that I crafted for this particular class, or if you are already working on some sort of research, send me an email with a paragraph explaining the nature, the scope of that research, and I will make a decision whether it's acceptable for this class or not. Okay, so just to recapitulate, we have the final assignment, right, for the semester this week. We also have a weekly assignment, which would be shorter this time. I will just post one question to which you will respond via email. And I will also make a prompt discussion question in the discussion forum that is more of a closing, reflective kind of question, and not too much related to the content matter. So those are the three things that we have for this week. Remember that the final exam or the final research, it's due on January 23rd. So you should start working on that ASAP. And if you have any questions, please reach out as soon as you can. I will not allow or accept late papers. The spring semester is starting now, and we don't have much time to grade, so I cannot accept any late papers. So again, if anything, please reach out, and looking forward to reading your papers.